Okay, da. All right, testing, testing, testing. One, two, three, test, test. All right, all right. I hope everybody can hear me. Thank you, Arena Lee. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. I hope I'm not too loud here. Hope everything is good. Um, Hope all the audios and videos and everybody can see me. Welcome in, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We are in another edition of Monday Rant and Discussion. This one's going to be a good one. So, I'm not going to thank you so much, Evelyn. I appreciate that. I'm not going to hold this up. We're just going to get to it. Again, hello, everyone. I happen to be House That Speaks coming to you live from the Chi Town, Chicago. Oh, can't see me though. Uh-oh. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. You should be able to see me now. There we go. Um, anyway, if you're new to the channel, thank you. And please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we'll be doing another Monday rant and discussion. Now you see what's up above me. And before we get this started, I want to throw a disclaimer out there. When I'm about to this subject has nothing to do with anything political. We don't do nothing political here on this segment. This is all about what's going on in the underground dance movement, what's going on when it comes to DJing, DJ gear, house music, underground culture. This is what it's all about here. Oh, thank you so much. That's right. Oh, okay. I thought I recognized you. I hope you plan on being in the next Twitch meetup, which will be coming in June. Mr. Lathouse already put out the flyer for that. I hope you was able to get that flyer, and if you was, I'm looking forward to seeing you, my man. Appreciate it. So anyway, let's get to the subject at hand. Now, I'm sure everybody who has been in this space know what's going on when it comes to nightclubs, and this is worldwide. I did a segment on that. Oh, Emery, what's up, man? I thought I didn't recognize your handle here. What I did, but I should have looked at your avatar because I remember the ancient writing on there. My bad. I'm sorry. Thank you so much again for tuning in. Again, let's get back to the subject at hand. As I was saying, for those you should be knowing what's going on as this space. There's a lot of nightclubs worldwide has been closing lately, and everyone has their take on reasons why. Due to inflation and all the things. We're not going to go into that. But what I am going to go into is probably one of the things that I saw firsthand as a person who used to go to various nightclubs in different places, and especially here in Chicago. I saw the surge firsthand on bottle service and how that slowly but surely was harming dance floor and dance culture. So that's what we're going to get into today. So without further ado, on to the presentation. Okay, let me move that back here. How bottle service in nightclubs harm the dance floor. I had to use that word because YouTube gets a little funny on certain words that you're not you should not use. So I just want to make certain that we use the right vocabulary here to keep things correct. So anyway, when I used to go to clubs, and I used to be a regular at certain nightclubs here in Chicago, I saw what was going on when bottle service was intermittent. Now, if you can go back to the Wayback Machine, I'm going to use one club as an example because this is a club that I frequently went. Crowbar. When I used to go to Crowbar, and for those who know about Crowbar in Chicago, it was this one club that had didn't have no name. It had Asian writing on the neon, and the only reason why you know it's Crowbar because the handles and the entrance was made out of a crowbar. That's how you know that was Crowbar. One of our famous DJs from Chicago used to reside in that place on a weekly basis. That was Psycho Bitch and the late Terry Briscoe, which I got a chance to meet both of these ladies. Incredible people, phenomenal DJs. Rest in peace, Terry. Anyway, so for those who recognize and know the layout of Crowbar, when you walk in, there's a place where you can hang up your coat. Once you walk in, there was a tier. You saw that was the main bar. Then there was another bar right next to the dance floor. There was about 3 or 4 pillars on that dance floor. On the left side, there was a cage where you had your regular dancers on there, and then there was the stage up front. You know what wasn't there? No booths, none of that bottle service mess. Why? VIPs was on the top of Crowbar. And the only way you can be into the VIP, you have to have some kind of invitation, or you have to pay for the actual service or reserves or whatever the case may be. And they had a security guard there. So if you didn't have a certain band or a certain ticket or whatever the case may be, you are not allowed in that VIP room. But there was also another room up on top of Crowbar where there was a long bar. Now, everyone else was able to welcome and go to that place. See? Yep, you was right. That's right. No booths, none of that. Just the dance floor and music. And it was amazing. I went there every Saturday when that place opened. Now, what happened was the very last time I went to Crowbar, they did change it. They made it more bottle service friendly, and in all intents and purposes, they pretty much ruined the essence of Crowbar. Now that happened. Now what I'm saying is this, because I even went to clubs where they had bottle service like right, like in the area where the dance floor is. If, in other words, if you got rid of that booth, the dance floor would have been expanded. But they had a booth right in the area of the dance floor. That was the mid. I didn't like where that was at. Never liked that location. So, so like I said, you had that was how that was. Then slowly but surely, clubs were allowing booths. Then the bottle service came. Then the bottle girls came. And then all that jazz. And next thing you know, the dance floors got smaller and the booths was more. Now, every club owner will tell you their reasons and blah 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 blah. But we're gonna get into it. So let's let's dive. Let's take this deep dive, shall we? Let's go. Okay. This is gonna be a breakdown on how bottle service pretty much changed nightclub culture. But in my opinion, not a good way. Okay? I mean, if you was an avid dancer and you went out and that was your thing to go out dancing, when clubs start having these bottle service or shrinking the dance floor, then it was no good. Why? Because you couldn't dance freely. There wasn't enough room. And especially when the club got crowded, the dance floor got too crowded, whereas you couldn't dance at all. Then you had no choice but to sit by the bar or whatever, or hopefully wait till the dance floor lighten up a bit, and then you can get in, get your dance on. Or you will have to come earlier. Why, before, come earlier so you can get your dance in before the place gets packed. It was never that case before. Why? Because clubs back in the day made the dance floors large enough so every dancer can go out dance, whether you are a professional dancer, semi-professional dancer, or just a person who just like dancing, or if you're a couple, you dance. It was something for everyone. Bottle service, in my opinion, took most of that away, which means they took the dancers away, which means the dancers stopped going. Now I know they will say, well, bottle service, it made us more money. You had more people that was sitting in the, yeah, but no one was dancing. Because when you go on, and I know what I do, when I was going on the dance floor, I was dancing. I was dancing about an hour, 2 hours. How longer? As long as that DJ was playing some good music, I was on that floor. I was sweating the whole 9 yards. When I wanted to take a break, I go straight to the bar and get a drink. Then I'll drink my drink stuff like that, and if a song comes, I go back to the dance floor. Yes, it was. Yeah, the if you talking about the bar, yes. If you talking about the long bar and crowbar, well, there was two. There was one. Well, there was the long one was like if you go, there was that like a couple stairs, like two stairs onto your left hand side, and that was the long bar was at crowbar. And then, like I said, then they had a short bar right next to the dance floor, and the dance floor had, like I said, had a couple of columns, maybe two or three columns, and then there was a cage where other, dancers are like that. Now, most of the people that went on the columns were actual dancers because Crowbar did had their own house dancers out there. where you can dance and stuff like that. Now they did let people go up there, but not all the time. I think on certain nights or certain events, if they'll let their house dancers do their thing, which was still awesome because by watching them dance, what it does make you want to go onto the dance floor. Now and then, okay, we going to you already got this the gist of it, so we're gonna go to the next slide. I don't wanna get myself put myself out. Now here we go. Before bottle service, the dance floor was the main character, which it was. That's why you went out dancing. And I can vouch for that. I was I used to go to 10 clubs when I was 18. So I was going to clubs dancing from the time I was 18 to, I would say I stopped going regularly after, I said 51, 52. When things wasn't the way it's supposed to be, that's when I stopped going regularly. But here's the thing, the earlier club era, like I was saying earlier, you know, of course you had disco, early house, of course. We're talking about the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s, and then of course techno as well. The value of the nightclub was measured by, here you go, energy on the dance floor. That means if you are a club owner, your main focus was to make sure that dance floor was packed, which means you're going to make sure you do the right promotion. You're definitely going to make sure you get the proper DJ for that particular night. If it's a techno night, you're going to get the right techno DJ. If it's a house night or a disco night, you're going to get DJs that's going to make certain that that dance floor is full and stay filled. Okay? And also places like, Studio 54, which everybody know, the Mecca of New York back in the day, and of course all the of course the famed warehouse here in Chicago. That's all they thought about. It was dancing. You went out to dance. Okay? So that's how the culture was built. Believe it or not, in my honest opinion and the research I've done, the house music culture was built on dancers. That's what it was built on. The dancers, not the DJs, the dancers. The DJs supplied the music, the dancers supplied the culture, supply the atmosphere of that club. If you didn't have the dancers out there, your club or venue or whatever event that you was throwing at the time was not going to be successful. That was the measuring stick at that time. Okay, collective movement. Okay, DJ driven journeys. DJ was able to play for the dancers. Okay, social mission instead of social separation. Fellas, remember back in the days when you see a cutie, she's on the dance floor, and you going up there and you dancing with her, and in the moment she sees you know how to dance, she didn't deny you, did she? Nope. She said, "Oh, he can move. He can." That was on her mind. Oh, he can move. He can dance. I'm gonna stay with him. And then that's when you start your conversation. I shot my shot many times on the dance floor. See a girl dancing, I'm going up there and I'm talking to her, and I knew I was a dancer because I used to choreograph for myself, so I knew I was a good dancer. Went up there and danced and stuff like that. Next thing I know, we're talking, we're drinking, we're back on the dance floor, numbers gets exchanged, and that's how it went. That's how it went. It was a social thing, okay? It brought us together. I met people through going to clubs. And the one thing about at that time, you met people from all walks of life. You didn't care about their race. You didn't care about their sexual orientation. You didn't care about their religion. You didn't care about none of those. All you care about is you love the music. You love dancing. You was on the dance floor having a great time. That's how it was. And this was before all this bottle service crap creeped in. Okay? Music discovery, over status. Of course, you didn't care about status, you cared about the music. That was the thing. That's why you came. You came to see a certain DJ that that's gonna make you dance, that's gonna put you on the dance floor and you're gonna get your dance on. The booths faced dancers and dancers were the attraction. Yes, it was. It wasn't about the funky people with, on in the booths drinking whatever bloody type of liquor they was drinking. It was about the dancers. It was about how many people was packing that dance floor. That was every club promoter, every club owner's thought process at the time. Okay? And also, if that floor was not packed, that means your event was a failure. Or people talked about your club. And the word spread that, it wasn't a good night because the music was whatever. People wasn't dancing. That's the first thing we said. People wasn't on the floor dancing. The dance floor wasn't packed. How much you want me to bet you didn't go to that venue once you heard that? And remember, this was way before social media. Word of mouth travels very fast at that time. I know for me, I was the person that most everyone got their information from. If I went to a club and event and I liked it and somebody called me and told me about it, or I suggested, then they went and they said, okay, you was right. I had a great time. But if it was something that, I wouldn't go because of this and this and that, guess what? They didn't show up. And they didn't bring their friends to show up as well. Next slide. I know this is going to be a long one. I apologize in advance. But this one's got to be said. The rise of bottle service. Now, here's where things went ugh. And here's the thing about this bottle service thing. It didn't happen overnight. It was a slow, creeped, casual burn. Here we go. My man here said, I have gone to nightclubs on a snow night, and there were nothing but skilled dancers. I still had some of those friends today. See what I'm talking about? That's proof in the pudding. Because that happened to me. I went to small venues or medium-sized venues. That was a kind of slow night, but guess what? The music was good. The people that was there was dancing, and we danced all night. We hung out the entire night, went somewhere to eat after the night was over. You went to your little place that opened 24/7, ate your breakfast. I mean, you had a great night. But that's how you knew people. That's how you communicate with people. That's how you meet people. You met them on the dance floor. But unfortunately, that's not happening anymore. And here we go. The rise of bottle service when revenue replaced rhythm. That's the key word, revenue. Club owners start getting greedy. And that's why they entered into the bottle service. Okay, and around about in the late 1990s, and especially in the 2000s, around about that time, clubs discovered something powerful. But here's the thing: was it a discovery? Seriously, was it a discovery? Because VIPs has been going on the clubs since I was going. Certain people was able to go to those areas, and certain people was not. But the ones that was up there, that's what they stayed in their lane. They didn't try to bring their stuff down to where all the people was dancing, especially all the regulars and the dancers. They knew their place. Then the lines started to get blurred. Okay, selling space made more money than selling entries. That was the problem. That's when the problem started. When these venues discovered that, hey, we can get a booth, we can charge X amount of dollars to reserve it. Then we'll get the people there, who has the money. Then they're gonna buy, and then they're gonna buy the bottles. They're gonna buy the drinks, and of course the drinks is in ridiculous prices. So we can charge this amount of money, and you get a nice sized club that has maybe about 4 or 5 booths, and you get those booths filled. You made a nice amount of change for that night. And unfortunately, that was their thought process when this was starting. Okay, bottle service included reserved VIP areas, a la the booth. High priced liquor, and I mean high priced liquor. I mean the Patron, for instance. If you go and buy you a nice little size bottle of Patron, what, 30, $35, depending on what brand of Patron you want to get. You know how much a club going to charge you for that same bottle of Patron? 2, 3, maybe $400, depending on the club. For that small little bottle, you're going to end up paying triple of what you'll pay if you go to maybe a high-end liquor store. Yeah, it is, especially today. The markup in these bottle serves is ridiculously high. Ridiculous. Okay? Table hierarchy, that means whatever booth you in, there's a hierarchy when it comes to that, which is ridiculous. Okay? Visible status zone. Of course, everybody wants to be seen, so you know what that means. The photos got to be taken, the tweets got to be popping up, or the IG photos got to be posted up. I need to be seen. I'm at this spot. Hoo. Ridiculous. Okay. From a business perspective, it worked perfectly, which it did. Don't get me wrong. At the beginning of this, I personally didn't have no complaints on bottle service. I said, okay, as long as it didn't interfere with the dance floor and the dance culture, okay. Club owners got to make their money somehow. So it is what it is. But they went overboard, okay? Predictable income, yep. Lower people need to generate higher revenue. That means they don't have to pack a house. All they need to do is get enough people to fill their booths, and they probably made their money for the night. A packed house for dancers, that was the extra for them. Whether wealthier clientele, yes, whoever came in with the dollar bill, y'all, get them in, But culturally, the shift changed why people came out, and that is the problem right there. It changed the culture. Instead of us, the dancers, going out and getting our dance on, now you got these schmucks. I ain't gonna say schmucks. I scratched that. These snobs, yeah, I am gonna say snobs. These snobs think they're God's gift. They can go up there, got their VIP reserves. They can sit their table with their little homies and stuff like that. And then the bottle girls will go woo with the little streamers and the bottles and stuff like that. And then set it down. Then they buy 4 or 5 bottles of drinks, which the markup is ridiculously high. That one booth alone, I'm for certain, probably if it's a packed house, a packed booth, I'm certain they made it probably an average club would probably made about a good. I'm gonna throw in a ballpark maybe $1,000 that night for one booth alone. Imagine if they filled up 5 of those booths. Oh, looks like my man has an idea. He said, "I wish a nightclub would open that would let the regular patrons or VIPs just reserve a bottle to drink from. They do at some places in Japan. Oh, but it's an interesting practice. That's true. You know, the last time and I'm gonna tell you the truth. The last time I went to a place and bought bottle service was in Mexico. But guess what? You know how much the bottle that I bought cost? $75 US. Yes, you heard me right. $75 US. And it was a high end vodka. It was Kettle One. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it was Kettle One. $75 US. Now, guess how much that same Kettle One will cost in a club here? And I'm saying here in Chicago alone. Think about that. Next slide. Physical separation, hurt flow. This is pretty much what how when bottle service got came into play. This is one of the symptoms of a venue not being as fun as it used to be, because now it's separate. Now it's pretty much the haves versus the have-nots, if you want to throw that in. It sure is reasonable in Mexico. Trust me. I don't drink anymore, but if I still was drinking, I would do a bottle service in Mexico anytime, no matter where in Mexico. Trust me on that. Okay. Bottle service didn't just change spending, it changed agriculture. And for those who go to clubs now, especially the big name clubs, you know that I'm right. Take a Just go to any club today, and what's the first thing you see? You see booths. You see probably railings. Then you'll see a booth up there, and then you'll see another booth probably in the bottom tier, and then you see a small dance floor. That's pretty much the architecture of clubs right now. Now, some still have where the dance floor still runs it, but that's smaller clubs like Smart Bar here in Chicago. Smart Bar is still, dance floor based, but their dance floor is still small. Their dance floor has always been small. Now, they do have a booth on the outside of When You Interest, and they also have a booth like right in the back next to the DJ room. Right where the DJ booth is. But it's all dark and stuff like that. But I mean, I've seen people at those places, but they're not really like reserved and so I think some people have reserved it. It's just that I've been to those areas. I never had an issue going to the areas, well, because 9 times out of 10, the people who have actually reserved those tables, I always know them. So I never had issues going there. And plus, I was going to Smart Bar off and on for a number of years, so I got to know a good number of people who still works there today. So I'm one of the fortunate ones. Anyway, let's keep going. Many clubs resign layouts for yeah, so that VIP tables surrounds the dance floor. That's the hurt. That's what's hurting us right now. The layout on days of these clubs now, they're laying it out so the booth can be front and center. If you want a prime example, the old primary is the prime example of that. It had a small dance floor, but you had like booths right on the back of it. You had booths, and then you have booths on the left side of it when you walk in, booths on the left side, and then you had one bar on the right side. That was it. That was primary. It was not a big club per se. But just imagine if the booth that they had in the back of that dance floor would have been off. Just imagine how much space you would have had. More people would be able to come. But they said, no, we don't want to do that because we need the booths because we need to make our money. Okay. Crowd watch instead of participating. That's the other thing. Now, you don't have too many people wants to go on the dance floor. Now they just want to observe. They want to be seen. They want to, dress in their nice little bed so they won't sweat. They want to look important. Give me a break. Okay. This creates 3 problems, 3 of them. Less room to dance, yes. Dance floors literally shrank dramatically. Energy fragmentation. There's no spark anymore. No food spa. No je ne sais quoi. No, primary has been gone. It was gone about 2-3 years now. They I know it closed during COVID, and then they tried to reopen, and then the guy who owned it, he decided to just wash his hands and stuff, and he closed it down it was about 3 years ago. He closed it down for good. So it was a nice place, but I just didn't like the fact that the booths was right behind the dance floor. They could have had more space on that dance floor. Okay. People stayed at tables instead of contributing to collective momentum. Now, how many people that who are in, who purchase those booths, how many times you seen them on the dance floor? I may see like 1 or 2, or maybe 4. I'm going to give it 4. But as a group, no, you don't even see them on the dance floor. Why? They don't have to be. They feel they already spent their money. They spent their money on reserving the booth. They spent their money on the drinks. They could just chill, get their drink on, get nasty, sloppy drunk. Because I don't care what anybody says. Anytime I have encountered people who have reserved those booths, oh my goodness, their mannerisms was atrocious. Oh, okay. Performer mentality. Yeah, want to be seen instead of want to be there for the experience. Dancers felt observed rather than free. Exactly. Because there was no space to really dance. because of these, because of the layout, the new layout now. The dance floor stopped being a shared experience and become a stage. Exactly. Because I don't know if people have been to clubs lately. I know the places that I have been. You know what I see all the time? I see like maybe 5 or 6 women. They all get together. They'll dance, but they'll have their phones, take their selfies, post their stuff, and then they'll dance and take their selfies again. I mean, if you're not gonna come there to dance, get off the bloody dance floor. Perform. If you want to do that, perform that crap at home. Sorry about being on a tangent. Next slide. That's true. That's true. DJs become background. Here we go. DJs become background entertainment. Now, for those who know, I am a DJ. Even though I do most of my stuff, live stream on platforms like Twitch, I still play out. But I find myself enjoying myself more when I play at smaller venues than when I play at a major club. Now, if I'm gonna play at a major club, I'd rather do it outside of the U.S. because, unfortunately, there are places still outside that still cares about the dance floor culture. But anyway, DJs became background entertainment, something that we've been trying to avoid for decades. We always said we are not your bloody jukeboxes. But with this new layout, unfortunately, that's what we have became. A bloody jukebox. As tables generate revenue, priorities shifted, okay? Music adapted to attention spans. Big drops replace long grooves. If you're a DJ, you know what I'm talking about. You'll get one of these people who's who has their booth, and what's the first thing they do? They'll go to the DJ booth and ask to request a song that has nothing to do with the night. Say you're doing a techno night. You got someone from the booth want to request a reggaeton song or a hip hop song. And you look at them like, first of all, I don't do requests. Secondly, this is not the night for that. This is techno night. Did you not read the flyer? Did you not see the post on social media? Where is your attention span, my friend? That irritates me more than anything else when people come to you making requests that has nothing to do with the night that they attended. And they can't say that they didn't know that this was a particular night, because they did. They usually do know that. They just want to be entitled. That's another thing that kills me about these people who do these booths. They think they are so bloody entitled because they spend a little coin reserving their little booth, getting their little drinks. They think they can run the club or tell a DJ what they can do with the music they playing. I give them the cold shoulder every single time. Trust on that. If anybody who's seen me, know me, and seen me play, they see me done it. I don't mess around when it comes to that. Okay. Familiar hits replace deeper journeys. Again, they want you to play something familiar. No, I'm not doing that. If I'm DJing and it's a house night, that's what I'm gonna play. House music. If you want to listen to what you want to listen, I remember I told somebody this. If you want to listen to what you want to, you can go to your car, connect your phone to your Bluetooth, and you can listen to any music you want. But if you're here, you're gonna listen to house music. what it's going to be. Okay, instead of building tension for dancers, DJs, of 10 played for bottle bottle moments. Oh God, I never forget that. I went to a club one time, and then there was this one, I don't know who this person was. They had a bottle service. They actually told the DJ, play another tune, so when the bottles come, the bottle comes can come with the streams. I'm like, absolutely not, if that would have been me. Absolutely not. No way in the world I would have done that. Social media clips. Oh, there's that one. How many times you have seen posts on all social media, and what you see people in their booths taking their photos with their bottles, or women, you know, up there with the guys, and I bet you none of those girls did not pay not one red cent for that bottle, but they was there to be seen. They was looking pretty. They knew they was gonna get in, and they know those guys were gonna invite them and taking a picture. Snap, snap, snap. Look at me. I'm at the VIP room, and you didn't spend a dime for it. Crowd spectacle. Yes, they are a spectacle. Cause some of them just be like going off the rails. The DJ moved from energy guide to entertainment feature. Why? Why? I'm here to bring the energy to the venue. I don't give a dag about what person purchased what kind of money on, to own what booth. Tell them and the people to get on the bloody dance floor. That's all you got to do. Next one. Why clubs still do this? Even dancers don't love it. I can answer that, but of course we're going to go through the segment. But I can answer why clubs still do it. Money, greed, especially now. Clubs are closing. People are not going that much anymore. People are not really drinking that much anymore either, so they're not going. They only going for the music. And that's what these clubs better freaking realize that. People now are drinking less, which means they're going for the music. Because if people are drinking less, guess what else is going less? Reserves for the bottle service are less. From ownership's perspective, bottle service solved real problems. No, it didn't. It created bigger ones. But we're going to go through it, and I'm going to debunk some of this. Rising rent and operating costs. Okay, that may be true then. It's not true now, because if that's the case, so many clubs will not be closing today. License and insurance expenses. Licenses has gotten higher now, especially here in Chicago. I heard liquor license has went up since the last 5 years. Liquor license in my city alone, in Chicago alone, has went up. Competition with festivals and streaming culture. Oh, you're not gonna compete with them. You're not gonna compete, especially on a streamer. You're not gonna compete with us. You kidding me? At a raid train alone, if I join a raid train, and especially if it's a big one, we can bring an average of 50 to close to 100 people, whether they're listening, chatting, or lurking. Average at a raid train. Clubs can barely do that now. And you're talking about competing with festivals? Give me a break. Every festival I still go now still is packed. I went to the House Music Festival last year, crowded. I went to a festival that was in Pearson, which is one of Chicago's neighborhoods. That was the first time they ever did their event. It's a two day event. It was packed both nights. Both nights it was packed. So y'all clubs can miss me talking about you're gonna be able to outdo festivals, and especially everybody know when festival season comes, when all these big festivals do their thing, worldwide. It's over for y'all. All y'all clubs will be doing is fillers. Y'all just the after party. That's all y'all gonna be, the after party. Ain't nobody gonna be going y'all at the night that a big festival going on. They're gonna go to the festival too first, and they may come to you unless, like I said, it's an after party and certain DJs that was at the festival gonna be playing. That's gonna be playing at whatever venue that's choose from. Period. A single VIP table can equal dozens of ticket buyers in terms of, yeah, that was before that. It ain't that now. It ain't that now. So economically, bottle service didn't ruin culture. It saved it. No, it did not. And not today, it doesn't. Like I said, this was probably maybe 5, 10 years ago. Not in 2026. Definitely not in 2025. Remember, the game changed after COVID. All these clubs and venues and even promoters and organizers of festivals, they're still playing catch up. I mean, remember, you have to understand, like 2020, 2021, that's 2 years of vicious loss in that frame. And we at what, 2026? They still got to catch up. I don't believe they're going to ever break even to maybe another 3 years. Now, this is my opinion. So, just letting you know that. So, no. If clubs are still doing this bottle service thing, they better change their tune. Otherwise, they're going to be the next club that closes. Next slide. Okay, the underground response, which is us who's down for the underground. Us dancers, us DJs, the ones who's the charge of this club culture. Okay, this is our response for this catastrophe that happened. Okay, interestingly, the underground never disappeared. We ain't gonna never go nowhere. As long as there's DJs, as long as there's a dance floor, we're gonna find a way. Have you noticed, especially here in Chicago in the summertime, rooftop parties has sprung up? Especially last year, I could tell you last year, there's been more rooftop parties last year in the summer that I have seen in the last 3 years. Last year alone. And that trend is going to continue. It's going to continue on, period. When the weather starts getting warmer, it's going to be rooftop parties. Or they're going to start having these buildings enclosed so they can have these parties all year round. Mark my words, that's going to be the next thing. Why? A, it's a day event. So that means you can go get your drink on, you can get your party on, and you don't have to go out dancing that night. B, maybe you don't want to, maybe you're a person that don't want to go out partying at night anymore. This is the best place to do it. During the day, get your dance on, party on, meet all the people, do all your things, and then you can go home and you can rest, get your dinner on, and sleep. Your party thing is done. And that is true. And that's the third thing. Rooftop parties do not go all night long. You might get a rooftop party that probably start around about noon to 3 and probably last to no more than 7 or 8. And that's it. You get to go home, chill, have your dinner, relax, and that's it. You got your party on. So that's what's going to happen. Okay. Seeing pushing back usually shared traits. Okay. What's this? No to limited VIP sections. That may happen, but like I said, I believe the rooftop parties is going to nullify that. That's going to take care of that. Dark room focus on sound. Okay. DJ position at floor level. That's going on. And I hope that continues, that part, because I know when I used to go to Evil Outlet, I hated where the DJ was. I hated where the DJ was located. Now, if you go to the other room in the back, yes, the DJ booth was up level where you can see people dancing. But the main floor, they had the DJ way up. I can't stand that. DJ needs to be in eye level so he or she can read the room and read the energy of the room. Because once you know how to read the room and read the energy room, if you feel that you're losing certain people, you switch the energy back. And you won't be able to do that unless you see how the dance floor is reacting. Community first environments, yes. Yes. Okay. Cities like us, Chicago, Detroit, Berlin, and parts of Ibiza, man, still preserve dance floor spaces, dance first spaces. Okay. Yes, there are certain clubs here in Chicago that still believe in the dance floor first environment. And like I said, Smart Bar is one of them, but not all of them. Because you got Sound Bar and you got the other ones that's downtown. No, they all about the bottle service. I've been to those places. I don't like attending them. Blah. Give me a place where I can get my dance on. That's all about me talking to people and me dancing. That's what I want. Period. Okay, next slide. Like I said again, I apologize for taking so long on this one, but I'm kind of a little passionate on it. My segments is usually 30 minutes long. I know this was a lot longer than that, but I want to make sure I got this out because this needs to be said. And I'm hoping that people make sure they share this and make whatever comments you want to make, either the chat or you can make it in the comment section so you can know. So people can know what's going on, especially when it comes to, to our dance community. Okay, because the real truth, it says bottle service didn't harm dancing overnight. It didn't. Like I said this before, this wasn't an overnight thing. This was a gradual thing. Okay? It slowly changed the purpose of nightclubs. Now, here we go. Then, before the bottle service, it was dance-centered, collective energy, music discovery, movement. You enjoyed yourselves. Okay, now, what's going on presently? Status centered, private experience, social visibility, consumption. That word consumption, that's the one that really, really sticks in my craw. Because I don't know, I'm sure everyone who been to a club and venue today have seen these people in these booths and these bottle service acting like they ain't never been out in their bloody lives. Okay? When attention moves from the floor to the table, the culture follows. And that's exactly what happened. When that VIP moved from way up on top, where they couldn't be seen, you couldn't see them, to front and center, everything else follows suit. Next slide. Okay. Okay, now, my question to you guys is this. Do you think that bottle service in nightclubs have harmed the dance floor? And if you do, sound on the comments and let me know why, in your opinion. We're going to share this in your opinion. Now, if you think that no, bottle service was necessary because not too many people was dancing, blah blah blah. If you think that bottle service in nightclubs was necessary and was needed, then you sound off and you let me know why you think that way. And here's the third. If you think that bottle service served its purpose, but now it's really doing harm to the dance culture and to the underground culture, as a whole, I want to hear you scream in the comments on that. So I'm gonna let you go because I did went way over. So thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you those who joined the chat. My boy Avery Lee, thank you so much for being here. I hope thank you for your input and your insight on this. I'm sure since you're a person, from the shy as well, firsthand what's going on, when it comes to the club culture today. And we're going to be talking more about this, because we need to get the word out so we can try to make some kind of change. And hopefully we can prevent more, nightclubs from closing. Or we can try, like I said, with the rise of rooftops, and maybe we can get some day events in some of these venues. Maybe that can change things. So, again, if you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell when you know that I'll be doing another Monday rant and discussion. This is House Says Speaks, coming to you live from the Chi-Town, Chicago. Thank you all for being here. Enjoy your work week. And as always, peace and love.